Next-gen embedded Linux. So we're going to talk about AI integration, specifically with Claude Code. We try to make this easy and some of the things you can do with it. And what we're finding is AI is really good at build systems. You know, it's a really useful tool because typically there's a lot of data, a lot of small pieces that need to be known and understood. None of it's real hard, but just keeping everything in one frame is kind of hard for us humans. So it turns out that build systems is something that AI does pretty well. So if we go to the docs and click on the AI skills page, there's two ways to install Claude Code skills for the Yo build system. The one is just simply to run Yo skills install inside your project, and Yo init will now do this by default. And this just simply populates a set of skills in your .claude folder. You can list and update these. Note update does overwrite, so if you make changes, you may want to rename the skill first. But it's handy to have everything local so you can diff things, compare them, and so on. The second way is with a more traditional Claude Code plugin marketplace. And you start up Claude, run these commands, and then the skills will be available that way as well. And there's a number of skills. Most of these are ideas at this point, but some of them have been implemented, and we'll focus a lot more on this in the future. So let's try this out. First thing we should do is run a Yo update, make sure we're running the latest version. And then we can run, let's just go the Claude route first. We can do market plugin, marketplace add, build /yo. And then plugin, go to marketplaces, down to Yo. Okay, now if we reload, plugins, we'll notice now like the diagnose, Yo diagnose plugin is now available. So this is one way to do this. There's also new unit and so on. So let's go ahead and remove this plugin from the marketplace for now, because we're going to install this a different way. So let's remove this. Okay. So the other way is to just run Yo skills install, and this creates a Claude directory with skills in it, and these are the current skills we have populated. And again, these are preliminary, but I do use the diagnose and new unit skills. So if we start Yo, we're just doing an Alpine dev image. So let's introduce an artificial error into one of these units. And what I'm going to do is just add an additional task step. And we'll say echo fake error. And what this should do is cause this particular unit to fail its build. So we need to restart Yo if we edit a unit. Hopefully we'll get this fixed, but we'll notice now it detected CA certificates is no longer cached. And let's go ahead and build this, and we'll notice it failed immediately. Hit enter to look at the build log, and we see this first step failed. So now at this point, you know, we could shell out and edit things and so on, but the easiest thing to do is just hit D for diagnose. And what this does is runs the diagnose skill, passes it the build log so it doesn't have to figure any of that out. And we'll see if it can figure out what went wrong. Okay, so it already figured out what happened. Okay, so it's going to remove that offending line from the certificates file, star unit. Okay, I'm just going to say, let me rebuild. Okay, I'm going to stop this, jump out of here. And if we edit this unit, we'll notice that we can see it removed that line out of that file. So let's go ahead and build this again, and we'll notice it builds. So this is kind of a trivial example of how the diagnose workflow works. And here we ran it from the Yo terminal user interface, but we could also we could also just run it from here. You know, say diagnose, and then some unit, say certificates fails to build. And this works very well as well, and it's sometimes nicer if you can keep your Claude and your Yo. But being able to run it right from the Yo GUI is nice as well, because that gives us a quick way to diagnose problems. So anyway, just a little example of how we're integrating Claude Code skills into this project. And we'll be expanding these a lot more as time goes on, for things like porting BSPs from Yocto, expanding on the skill to add new units, porting units from different systems like Alpine or Debian, and so on. So let me know what you think. Thanks.